Day 2 of OTAs. Got Mike McDaniels, and I got some tidbits from on the field. What is up, Finn fans? Got a Mike McDaniel press conference before they hit the field, and I got some little bit of news and notes from on the field work. Not much, and I'll get into that. But before we jump into all that good stuff, I have to shout out a new Patreon in Ernesto Gonzalez. Thank you so much, brother, for joining the Patreon. If you want to join the Patreon, it is linked below, and if you want to become a member, just hit that join button next to the subscribe button. But let's jump into what Mike McDaniel had to say, and then I have some notes from on the field. So, little tidbits yet. The Miami Dolphins have not yet officially signed Melvin Ingram to that 1 year, up to $5 million contract. So he can't talk about him yet. Also, he announced that the Dolphins will also be having a joint practice with the Philadelphia Eagles. So that is the Week 3 preseason game that's home. So they will be traveling to Tampa for a joint practice before the Week 1 preseason game. Home for the Raiders, and then home for the Eagles. Have a joint practice before that Eagles game. So little tidbits there. He talks about the signing of Sony Michel. He says he wants competition. No one here shies from that. So essentially he's saying everyone on the team is open and welcome to competition. He says you have the opportunity to add a player of his caliber, of his pedigree, a multiple Super Bowl winner. We jumped at that opportunity. People are sleeping on Sony Michel a little bit. When I talked about the signing and bringing in Sony Michel, I was excited for it because he literally he was maybe 20, 30 yards away from having 1,000-yard back-to-back season his first 2 years with New England. And then this past year on a very crowded backfield, he had 800 and something rushing yards. Very, very big addition for the Miami Dolphins. He talks about Raheem Mostert. He says his expectations are to play Week 1, but we're not going to rush it. He has come too far to have a setback. If you don't know, he was injured last year. I think he only played one game. So he is coming back from an injury, and the Dolphins aren't going to rush him in, especially adding Sony Michel and having Edmonds. Brain just shut off on that one. He says he wants what to establish on OTAs. He says learning a language on one side of the ball and refining the language on the other side of the ball. Essentially, brand new offense, same defense. So the defense is just trying to get things fine-tuned, get it right, perfect where it has been, especially in 2020. And then you got the new guys coming in. Hopefully, Melvin Ingram gets here, starts learning it. Talks about Lynn Bowden Jr., always drawn to players that have multiple position experience, specifically quarterback, because of the way they see the game. That's kind of why I wanted the linebacker. I wanted the fact that we didn't draft him. I completely forgot his name. Troy Anderson. There we go. Played quarterback. So, you're on the defensive side of the ball. You know what to look for and all that stuff. It's the same thing with Lynn Bowden Jr., kind of has that expertise. Also, he said that Lynn Bowden's dealing with a hamstring injury. So they're taking it day by day. That's new. I think that's new to a lot of people. They asked, when he says, when you coach a player, you're aware of their past coaching so that you can articulate what you're asking the player, how you can compare it to the past teaching. That's very interesting. He said that. I never really heard a coach talk about that. I said, essentially, the scheme and all that stuff that they have learned in the past, you kind of try to bring it into what they're learning now, being like, okay, well, you did this here. It's kind of the same, but a little different here. So I like that teaching style there. He says O-line play is the toughest because we are so committed to our fundamentals and technique. He talks a lot about the O-line, and he's how important it is, which thank God. Because how long did we go through having a poor O-line and then our offense completely struggled because of it? He says this is his 7th team, and this O-line is athletic and capable of any group. That's the fun part of this year. You get to focus on them and not an opponent. So again, he's really focusing on the O-line, getting it ready, especially with the style of offense he wants to run. That O-line has to be top notch. He says, I hold the undrafted free agents with high esteem. They aren't just throw-ins. Especially Zaquandre White. I got a little update from him today. But there's some really good undrafted free agents that we got, that some of them were like third round talent that they fell out for, whatever reason. He says joint practice are outstanding for everyone involved. Obviously, I talk about this every year. You with training camp, you're consistently going up against the same guy over and over and over and over again. You pick up his tendencies, and then it just becomes who's going to do the move first to get past the guy in front of him. Especially with the receivers, and it's just the same monotonous over and over again. You start to get used to it. Bringing in someone new, bringing in a different team helps in that aspect, especially getting ready for the season where all of a sudden you're not playing your same opponent over and over again. And the last thing he talks about is some vets won't be at OTAs. The vets that have earned the right over their career, and the science backs that up right now. It's not best served for them to be out there. We are not going to put them out there. So, Armstead, I don't expect out there. Xavier Howard, I don't expect out there. Maybe even Byron Jones. I don't really expect. Emmanuel Agba is probably not going to be out there for OTAs. So you probably won't see these types of guys out there. Tyreek Hill was out there, though. So let's get into the news and notes. Got a little tidbits on the field stuff for you guys. No videos, though. Again, the media cannot say who is taking snaps with who. They can't say this guy's first team, this guy's second team. They can't do that until training camp. So a lot of it is assumptions, and they're just telling you some plays that they've seen. It's not real play-by-play or any of that stuff. So I have this quote, though, right, from CBS, and it says, defensive players have told GM Chris Grier they can't believe the transformation on offense. Now, take that with whatever you want. But to me, that's encouraging. To me, that shows that this offense, if this offense can just match the productivity and how well the defense did for that 7-game stretch, even in 2020, this team's going to be real dangerous. So I'm excited to see what they can do. And this is now what I'm hearing from on the field stuff, several impressive throws made by Tua. One, it was like a 60, 70-yard touchdown pass to Preston Williams, 35 yards in the air, and then a nice 20-yard sideline throw to Gesicki with a ton of zip on it, from what I'm hearing. I'm also hearing Zaquandre White looked good finding the cutback lanes. Running game as a whole looked very explosive. Again, they don't have Mostert out there because of his injury, so Sony Michel, Zaquandre White, Edmonds. I don't know why Edmonds' name just keeps popping out of my head. Hearing really good things, even Gaskin. Lots of intermediate and deep throws to Hill and Waddle. And from what I'm hearing, they are hitting these guys consistently. Again, they're going up against Nick Needham. They're going up against these second-tier guys because, again, I doubt Byron and Xavier Howard are out there. I'm hearing Hill showed up big. I'm hearing that from these reporters and all that stuff, that they're like, oh, yeah, we have Tyreek Hill on this team because he is just all over the field. He is getting huge yak yards from Tua. I think I heard 2 of them from Teddy Bridgewater, just showing his speed, and that you're just like, oh, yeah, we have Tyreek Hill on this team. So for you guys that are going to training camp, I'm pretty sure you guys also are going to be looking at Tyreek Hill and being like, oh my God, this man's on our team. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is from a quote from Omar Kelly. Now, we all know about Omar Kelly. If you love him, you know how he could be, just brutally honest with you and all that stuff. And if you hate him, you think he's a clickbaiter, hates Tua, all that stuff. Well, this is a quote directly from Omar Kelly. He says, Tua's arm has made some noticeable improvements. It's not drastic, but it's noticeable, especially in passes over the middle. So whatever he did with reform, whether it's working on his strength, working on his footwork, working on all that stuff, it is making a big difference in his passing, and supposedly it's showing on the field, especially, I'm hearing, he's got some zip on the ball. I'm hearing all this stuff. So I'm very excited to see what he can do come this season. But that's what I got for you today. Short video, again, OTAs, they can't talk about much. They can't tell you, it's different from training camp. When I break down training camp's film, I'm giving you play-by-play. I'm giving you, okay, this is 7-on-7s, this is 1-on-1s, this is 11-on-11s, and here's the plays, so-and-so's on this side, so-and-so's on that side. I can give you more in depth. With OTAs, they're not going to give you that much. You know, we get little tidbits here and there. There was no real videos out either today. It was some videos of just stretching, some videos of route running and technique, but no like passes, no flashy stuff to show. So it's relatively a quiet day today, but I do like what I heard from Mike McDaniel, especially when it came to talking about the offensive line and how important that was, talking about the pass techniques, bringing them in to help players understand the new nuances of this offense. I'm really enjoying the way Mike McDaniel's working. I'm enjoying hearing that the defense is talking about how much the offense has improved. There's a lot of good so far. But that being said, and I talk about a lot of good stuff today, and, you know, enjoy it. I'm not telling you not to enjoy it, but don't be too invested in it, right? This is OTAs. They're not in pads. There's no pressure. There's no tackling to the ground. It's essentially flag football. The throws matter, especially if they're accurate, especially if there's a tight spiral on it, especially if, you know, the routes are being run, all that stuff. But other than that, this is just understanding fundamentals, organized team activities. It's just understanding the fundamentals, understanding the offense, understanding the playbook, and getting it drilled in your head. So a lot of the stuff I'm saying is good. It's encouraging. It's stuff to build off of. But until they put those pads on, until training camp starts, just enjoy this. And then we'll see what's really going to happen. And then we'll see with our own eyes on preseason. That's where I'm really excited, because that's where you really see the team you have, and you really see the depth you have when it comes to preseason. And then you get the season starting on September 11th. So, but other than that, guys, that's what I got for you. I will see you. They have another day of OTAs on Thursday. I have a video planned for you guys tomorrow. I think I'm going to be ranking the running game. I don't know if I want to do the running backs or the running game of the AFC East. I'll let you know when I make that video. I have everything planned all the way up to tight ends. So I got running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends already planned. I'm working on offensive line. It's a lot of work. But I have a ton of content planned for you guys for this dead time of the year, especially when OTAs are done and they go on break. So other than that, guys, I will see you tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.